It's completely stock. The previous owner was the second owner. He had it for 8 years. The owner before that had it for 9 years, so it's in good shape for a 17-year-old car, give or take. Of course, I have my preferences of things that I'm going to do, but aside from a few dings here and there, it's in great condition. One of my first projects is going to be hood struts to hold it up, because that's what I did with the Mustang. This stock strut is ridiculous. I mean, unless you're 5 feet tall, I don't see how this would work. The hood literally hits me in the forehead when I'm kneeling under it. So this is the Mustang strut, and you know, it gives me the height without having to take off the hood, which would be easy. It's super lightweight. Lots of projects planned for this car, so I'm probably going to just start taking things apart and see what I want to do with it based on the condition of various things. There's little bits missing here and there, like the cover on that side over the battery. Just give a nice walk around. Original wheels. We're in P225 45 R18s. I think the 18-inch wheels will work for the brake upgrade I have planned. These stock brakes work really well, so they've been maintained. But the little tiny calipers are not really going to hold up to track duty. So that's probably I'm going to leave these wheels on here, but I don't know. It could be that the brakes I have planned will require a 19, but an 18 is a pretty reasonable size. And on the rears we have two 45 R18s. Here's a little bit of body damage. Looks like someone backed into something or were swiped by someone coming out of a parking space. That's what it looks like to me. Someone's bumper, bam. It's a shame the previous owner didn't get it fixed, but yeah, in fact you can see some black paint here. So someone backed out of a parking space, most likely, and ran it across here. That happened in a previous car of mine, and the guy just took off. I chased him down. That really sucks to do that to somebody. It'll be a real low life to not take responsibility for your mistakes in life. These rears are not really that important, but man, they sure are tiny. I don't know that an upgrade is needed, but for track, probably it's inevitable. I forgot to unlock the outside. You can see here, let me get light going on here. You can see here it has a stock radiator, and it looks like stock dual fan shroud, stock airbox. Looks like the previous owner just replaced this not long ago. This has a cold air intake here coming from under the front bumper, which is kind of nice. I'm not going to screw with this. much. The mass airflow sensor here, I cannot touch it because of California law now. No tuning allowed. The filter here, maybe put a cone in, but I cannot change the tube here. I can change this tube to make it smoother flowing if I want, but I don't know. This one looks pretty good aside from this. May add a little bit of turbulence to the air. I don't know that it's going to matter much. This is a pretty efficient tube already. I don't think I'm going to need to mess with it. I mean, if I did, it wouldn't amount to a whole lot except maybe slight throttle response, which might be worth it. I don't know yet. I don't want to just go to the track after owning it for only a few days. So that event's coming up. I'm going to take the Shelby, but this is the car I purposely bought for that purpose. That's redundant, isn't it? Okay. Here's the interior. Very good condition for its age. Only 87,000 miles, by the way. The door is showing a little bit of wear, especially here. It doesn't hold its position at the far point. It only holds it. Oh, it doesn't hold it at all. There's barely a little bit of grip right there. So those there, a little bit of a hold there. It's kind of worn out on the little. Yeah, I think there's a piece inside the door that's worn out that catches on these little nubs to hold it open. Very clean for its age. It has the power seats and heated. I don't know if these include cooling. I haven't tried it. Aftermarket stereo deck with Bluetooth and a little microphone up here. I don't know if I'm going to keep that or not. It's really iffy. The cluster is standard, which is really cool. I love it. Battery voltage tells you if your alternator's going out. Oil pressure, and then this is a multi-tool sort of gauge on the left where you can use these controls to change what's displayed there. Very cool. And I'll show you what's in the back here. It's standard. The real question is, what do I want to do with this car as far as I wish I had a quick release here. It's a shame that it doesn't, because it would be really nice to be able to quickly drop it down like on racing seat. These seats are pretty nice for its age. I mean, they're not beautiful, but I like them a lot, and they're original. No major damage, a little bit of wear here, but I'm thinking of just pulling them and storing them and putting in some alternate seats, or at least the driver's seat. I may leave that one in there for a passenger, but for this one, I'd like to put in a Recaro. The standard speaker system in the back, and storage is pretty good. All of these little compartments for putting things in. Here's a power input, and there's like a rear glove box. Okay, and the rear, let's pop that open. So pretty standard. Spare tires under here. I would remove that for the weight savings, and the jack, at least while on the track. This I think is an original organizer, although it may be aftermarket. I think it came with the car. I think it attaches to the passenger seat. Pretty clean. That's a huge muffler, huh? So I think that pretty much covers it. I'll be jacking it up and taking the wheels off to see the condition of the suspension and the brakes, which I'm going to replace anyway, but I just want to see what they look like before I tear them apart and get some good before-after footage. Oh yeah, I'll see what the show you the passenger side. One of the things I'm going to do is relocate the battery back here. That's a good like 40 pounds maybe. So this one does have a quick release. Here's the compartment back here. A manual. Not sure what this is. Doesn't look like it opens. Or if it does, there's access to something mechanical. This entire thing might be removed. I'm not sure yet. I'm not going to mess with the stabilizer or support bar that's attached to the rear suspension. But this piece, I'm not sure if it's necessary for the goals of this car. It doesn't weigh a lot, but speakers with their magnets do. So anyway, yeah, this video is going to need to be edited. Pretty much power everything. Now, I personally am not a Z expert yet, so I can't tell you what submodel this is without looking at the title, and even that I'm not sure about. I would say it's a base model, but hard to tell. I just don't know. The manual doesn't specifically say which submodel it is. Okay, I think that about covers it. Okay, I've got it jacked up for the first time, so, okay, I've always been very nervous underneath cars, so, I've got double set here. Still makes me nervous though, because of slippage. I've got the rears on the ground. It's a little bit safer. Anyway, here's from some messy oil changes. This is plastic, poly, whatever. Looks like it's hit some debris or speed bumps. I'm gonna take this off to see what looks like underneath here and get access to the engine and the linkages, and mostly out of curiosity. So it's one thing I do with a car I'm going to work on, is just kind of take everything apart to at one section at a time anyway, to see what it's made out of, see what's going on. It looks like somebody put sealant here, or a marker, which is pretty strange. I guess to prove that it's not coming loose. I don't know, that's odd. Anyway, the oil drain plug, the oil would spew out of here too fast sometimes and make a huge mess. And this is what happens when you let a shop do it quickly. I'll be changing it myself in here from now on. Suspension is interesting after working on Mustangs my whole life. Not really touched a Nissan before. That's what I'm pretty excited about. It looks like There's quite a bit of damage underneath here, which is not really a surprise when you've got drivers who are not paying attention to speed bumps and curbs, driveway entrances that are too tight. This car really isn't that low, I guess it is if you're not careful. I scrape sometimes on the Mustang bumper, but it's got a lower splitter. Anyway, Z1 has a complete replacement aluminum piece for this that looks really nice, but I need to figure out what I'm going to put on here first. So I like the piece that Z1 Motorsports has for this, but what you have to decide first is whether you're going to go with the stock bumper cover or go with an aftermarket. The two that I like a lot, well, obviously, are the Nismo piece and the Stillen piece. I like both of them. I would have to get them painted. I don't know that it's worth the effort for a vehicle like this that's meant for racing, but you know, it might be worth doing if the lower pieces are really nice. So yeah, this all needs to come off. It's, as you can see, there's structure here for the bumper cover, which I really like. This whole piece is very nice. It's very good for controlling wind underneath. Wind flow. I'd like to cover this part up also, but there's a heat concern. That's why it's not done from the factory. Probably won't do that, but it would be nice to protect the transmission bits down there. So anyway, there's not a lot to see until these come off. Here's the steering rack. Everything looks very clean. You can tell that this car has not been on salty roads. Aside from some wear, it's just beautiful under here. Here's the front shocks, struts, whatever you call them. There's the front brakes, brake caliper. You need to really decide what size of wheel to go with before buying the big brakes. Or the other way around, get the big brakes and then buy a wheel that definitely fits it. That seems like it would be easier to me. There's a lot of space in here though with these 18s. I think big brakes might even fit on these 18s. Depends on the brand. So clean under here, it's amazing. This car was very well cared for and garaged most of the time. You can just tell from these clean suspension pieces. Which is what I'm mostly interested in for racing. These pieces look really good just from the factory. I know you can improve on any design in a production car, but it's so well done compared to the Mustang suspension that I'm used to. Yeah, very clean.